the French answer to Hostel and Saw? Like, I know what marketing is, but that's just straight up disrespectful. Frontière, or Frontière, open parentheses, S, close parentheses. It's French, it's bound to be pretentious. Is a film from 2007 coming out of the French extreme movement that was very popular at the time. And Frontiers has big shoes to fill because it's competing with movies like High Tension, Inside, and Martyrs. Does it do a good job? Actually, yes. It's not the best of the genre, but personally, it's my favorite. Yeah, I'll say it. The film starts with some footage of the fetus in the woman's womb. I don't know what you call it, I totally forgot. I shouldn't have because I dealt with that not too long ago, but whatever. And over that, we have the narration of the main character of the film, Yasmina. And since it's French, it's very pretentious. And even the intro keeps reminding us that this is a French film. Because of course, the opening credits are over footage of rioting. Because what's more French than riots? After the credits, when we realize that we're no longer in stock footage land, we meet Yasmina. But this time we see her face and we see that her brother's been shot. Then we meet the rest of the gang who are having a gunfight with the police. And the most surprising thing of this is that the French police are actually doing something. If I had any French subscribers, they'll be all gone by the end of this video. And afterwards, our gang gets together. And from there on, they want to devise a plan to, of course, get the brother to the hospital because, you know, he's half dead. They decide that they'll split up. Yasmina, her brother, and her ex-boyfriend will go to the hospital while the other two, Blondie and Short Guy, will try to get to the borders. We discover that they stole a bunch of cash, and that might be why tensions are a little bit high between them. Also, if you didn't realize by the riots at the beginning, if you don't like your films to get political, this one you might want to skip. Some films pass their political message with subtext and storylines, and then there are French films. They get to the emergency room, and there, Yasmina's brother tells her not to get rid of the baby. Because, you know, the narration over the baby footage meant that she was pregnant. And then the cops arrive to ask her some questions, and she gets out. In the meanwhile, he's dead! We'll take a break from Yasmina and her ex-boyfriend for a while to go with Blondie and Short Guy. They drive into the countryside, and of course it's the countryside in a movie. It's scary. They call the other gang and discuss where they'll meet. Blondie and Shorty decide to take some back road and find a sketchy motel. There they ask for a room from these two lovely ladies who are very much inspired by Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You can see that there's something wrong as soon as they start drinking together, and the sexual tension gets higher and higher and higher. Yeah, Blondie really wants to get some roadhead. Can't blame him. And his wish is quickly fulfilled. After their little foursome, cause Shorty participated too, they meet the family to have dinner. And the movie even has a gender-swapped grandpa from TCM. In this film, it's Grandma, and she has a little bit of difficulty eating. Our lovely duo is of course disgusted by this, and in the meanwhile they mention that they are Muslims, because one of the themes in this film is racism. Now I know how everybody likes to pretend that racism is only a thing in the United States, but no, it's everywhere. You dummies. Blondie wants to have some more action, but when she refuses, he calls them whores. Because even though he just had sex, he really likes to act like an incel. When our ragtag team decides to go to bed, some police officer knocks on the door. The police officer is the brother in the family of weirdos, and he decides that he wants to rob them of their money. They try to escape. Blondie gets two of his fingers shot, and when they get to the car, it provokes a car chase. Blondie and Shorty get into a car crash and the family of inbreds assume they're dead. Finally, we get back to our couple. They get to the motel and the two lovely ladies inform them that no, the hotel is full and their friend went a little bit farther. Blonde chick takes the lead and brings them to what looks like to be an abandoned house. Our two lovely boys are in tunnels in the old mine. But Shorty hears some sound and with his camera he sees that something's coming up. So they rush and Blondie finally dies. I'm glad to see that the worst character dies first. When our couple gets to the house, they go to eat with the family and we meet another member. A girl that looks to have a physical disability and talks like a child. Boyfriend of the year then decides to go take a piss, and when he does, he sees some shit he shouldn't have. And while he's gone, we finally meet the patriarch of the family, and he sounds strangely German. Uh-oh! Our little Romeo sees Blondie dying and he decides to escape. He goes to save his girlfriend, but the inbreds are ready to fight. When they capture them, Dad talks to his son about how he wants to keep the bloodline going. However, he's worried because she's not white. He's a Nazi. And that's where I'll end with describing the film, because this is a great fucking movie and I don't want to spoil it. Like many of the films in the genre, it takes a little while to get going, but once it does, it's amazing. And on this channel, if I really love something, I won't spoil it. Unlike Grotesque, which I basically told the entire film, this is not worth spoiling because there are twists, there are turns, and the last 20 to 30 minutes are so insane, so amazing, that I highly recommend you guys just get your hands on a copy, stream it, do something. It's amazing. Now, are there problems with the film? Absolutely. Like I said at the beginning, no, I do not believe this is the best of the movement of French extreme films from the mid-2000s. But it's a very underrated, underappreciated one. The cinematography and camera work is also very, very, very not my favorite. It's super shaky, it's quick cuts, almost like a Michael Bay movie, but this is supposed to be a tension-filled horror thriller. The tension is very high, you're on the edge of your seat, the action is surprisingly very good, the gunfights are entertaining, the villains are very well crafted. Like I said, it is inspired by Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but don't get me wrong, this is not a cheap carbon copy, this is its own thing, and it's amazing. The physically crippled girl who talks like a child is probably my favorite character. Her backstory is so fucked and it's just mwah. The rest of the family is pretty weird too. The father, that's clearly a Nazi, is a bit over the top and cliched. That's probably the weakest villain in this film, but the rest of the family are great. If you are looking to expand your horizon of French extreme films, this one is one not to miss. Anyways, thank you and see you guys next time.